Coming up on UT 10 News, we'll see what, if any, progress is being made on the Scott Park sale.
And we'll also take a look at the true meaning of the word impeachment.
And for the 96th year in a row, UT celebrated homecoming on the gridiron. Taylor Dively was at the Glass Bowl for the Rockets' important test against WMU. Your news in 10 minutes starts now. And thanks for joining us. I'm Isaac Petcash.
And I'm Zain Omer. Each year, nearly 800,000 people commit suicide worldwide, according to the Suicide Awareness Voices of Education.
It's a pretty staggering stat, and that's why UT 10's Kaisha Muhammad visited Promenade Park this past Saturday for a walkathon in support of suicide prevention. Kaisha, just how many people showed up to the fundraiser?
Isaac and Zane, more than 1,000 walkers from all over Northwest Ohio gathered for a common cause to raise awareness. Suicide survivors, loss survivors, volunteers, and sponsors all join forces to honor and remember suicide victims in a special way. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States, according to American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. In 2018, more than 47,000 Americans died by suicide. To combat those numbers, AFSP hosted the Out of Darkness Toledo Walk. This community communed and walked 3 miles along the bank of Maumee River. The funds raised will help to invest in new research, create educational programs, and support survivors of suicide loss.
Volunteers, if it wasn't for the volunteers, we wouldn't be here. The walk committee works for 9 months out of the year to make this day possible.
The goal is to raise $65,000. So far, more than $52,000 have been raised. December 31st is the last day to donate.
Thanks, Kaisha. According to the YWCA of Northwest Ohio, every 15 seconds in the U.S., a woman becomes a victim of domestic violence. The Student Wellness Center is one resource that is available to students. The Wellness Center is located in the Health and Human Services building on the main campus. The center provides support and information about local resources.
I believe it's an issue in society, and it's a human issue. We're here to support you. We're here for, like I said, students, and we're free and confidential.
If you or someone you know has been a victim of domestic violence, please contact local or campus police.
Now to an ongoing story. Back on September 24th, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi began an impeachment inquiry against President Donald Trump.
UT 10's Jessica Zintek looks into what students think impeachment means versus what it actually is.
Impeachment, that could mean like taking him out of his position.
Charging him with some sort of crime, basically.
Impeachment does not mean removal, but it could lead to it.
So the House of Representatives has the power of impeachment, and that's them saying that we think there's enough evidence that the Senate should have to decide whether or not to remove the president.
The House of Representatives needs a majority vote to impeach the president, and the Senate needs a 2/3 vote to remove him or her from office. In our nation's history, 2 presidents have been impeached, but none removed. Nelson also says that the key things to pay attention to this week and the coming weeks is how Republican senators are acting towards Trump. If they remain neutral and positive towards him, the odds of a removal are very slim. But if the tables turn and they begin acting negatively, he may be removed from office. Reporting from the Student Union, I'm Jessica Zintek with UT 10 News.
According to the CDC, a nationwide outbreak of hepatitis A has increased in 2019. The Ohio Department of Health reports over 3,300 cases since the outbreak began in 2018. Now, doctors say people with the highest risk include opioid drug users, any who are homeless, and those participating in male-to-male oral sex.
Mostly people that should be definitely concerned about getting hepatitis A are people that have hepatitis B or C or some other chronic liver disease.
If you think you have been exposed, make sure to visit either of UT's medical centers.
UT's plans are still up in the air over the decision to sell Scott Park. To go along with its master plan, UT has moved university personnel away from Scott Park and over to main campus and the health science campus. However, Rocket baseball and softball, as well as the Toledo Early College High School, remain.
There are no immediate things in the works to move those from the Scott Park campus, but we would certainly work with Toledo Public Schools to find another location for the Toledo Early College High School.
In addition, UT looks to move softball and baseball to main campus in the later stages of its plan.
Now, moving back to main campus, this October is Filipino American History Month at the University of Toledo. The Filipino American Association kicked off the month on Wednesday with an egg roll stand, also known as lumpia. Participants at these events are able to gain additional knowledge about various cultures at UT.
Honestly, before college, I was not connected to my culture at all. So FAA, Filipino American Association, gave me a place to kind of reconnect with it.
Now, this is just one of many months that celebrates the university's diverse population. And for a complete list of events, click on the Filipino American History Month link at ut10news.com. Now to my personal favorite weekend of the year. That's UT's oldest tradition, and it's homecoming, and it took place over the weekend.
And this year's theme was a spooky one, Rocky's Haunted Homecoming. I had a front row seat to all the action. Halloween-themed floats lined the streets starting at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday for the annual homecoming parade. Festivities throughout the week included an office decorating contest, food trucks in Centennial Mall, and a lip-sync battle between the homecoming court. UT junior Bailey Sparks says his favorite part about homecoming is seeing his friends come back to campus as alumni.
They're getting along with their lives, but they still come back and see kind of where they started and come and see us. And I'm looking forward to that when I graduate.
Planning for homecoming started in January, and $20,000 was spent preparing for the week.
I've spent the last 9 months of my life just thinking about every little detail about these events, and it's just great to see all the students interact with them and really enjoy them.
During halftime, Charlie Pelfrey was crowned homecoming king, while Farzana Kurban Ali was crowned queen. It was such an amazing weekend for homecoming, Isaac.
I mean, if you can't smile at a story like that, pretty cool, and just get to see everyone there too. One of the events that happened over the weekend was the Rockets' MAC football opener, and Taylor Dively now has more in sports.
I'm Taylor Dively, and this is your UT10 Sports Report. It was an exciting weekend in Rocket sports. The Rockets football team and the women's volleyball team both took on the Western Michigan Broncos. But first, the Rockets football team looked for a win against their first MAC opponent of the year. The Rockets showcased throwback jerseys as they took on the Western Michigan Broncos Saturday afternoon. Glass Bowl was rocking for homecoming weekend as the Rockets were able to jump to an early lead thanks to a pass from Mitch Guadani to Bryce Mitchell for a touchdown. The Broncos would answer though. John Wasink was able to find tight end Giovanni Ricci in the back of the end zone to get the Broncos on the board before halftime. Despite a 24-7 Rocket lead at half, Broncos mounted a comeback with a 39-yard touchdown run from Levante Bellamy. Rockets defense was able to hold strong on a fourth down attempt at the end of the game, securing a 31-24 win and a 1-0 conference record.
Yeah, there were some plays that the Western Michigan made, and there's some times that we weren't doing what we needed to do on offense, but I don't think anybody lost faith in that. And I mean, you saw the defense come up with big stops at the end again, and hats off to them.
Rivalry week is up next for the Rockets as they will travel to Bowling Green to take on the 1-4 Falcons. Friday night, UT women's volleyball hosted the Broncos in Savage Arena. The Rockets held their Volley for a Cure game to help raise awareness for the fight against breast cancer. The Rockets fought hard in the first set, but the Broncos were able to pull away to take the first win of the night. Some back and forth action in the second set kept the score close before a miscommunication on the Rockets side cost them. Another close set ultimately ended with the Broncos taking a 3-0 win thanks to a block from Janelle Williams.
Credit goes to Western Michigan for the way that they found a lot of key plays at key moments to stifle us a little bit. But you know, all in all, I think it was in our side of the court that we needed to really find a little bit more quality.
The Rockets dropped the game the following day to Northern Illinois by a score of 3-1. They will look to bounce back on Friday at Eastern Michigan.
So here we go, the Battle of I-75 again this week. We've won 8 in a row. What do you say we make it 9? Sound good?
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's it for UT10 News. For the latest breaking news from campus and bios from all UT10 reporters, go to our website, ut10news.com.
And remember, you can watch the live stream of our newscast production every Tuesday at noon on our YouTube channel. For Taylor Dively, Zane Omer, and all of our crew, I'm Isaac Petcash. Happy fall break, and stay tuned for more news from the UT campus.